This is the Rebel Call channel. Welcome to today's show. Oprah Winfrey has been rolled back out in the public spotlight with a special on ABC. Because of course, like I've always warned about these celebrities, their job is to socially engineer. That's it. And while people used to criticize me for always talking about celebrities instead of talking about specific politicians or other things that were going on, I always focused on the celebrities, not because of clicks, because the celebrities are the ones that we could all actually blame for what society looks like today, because they're the ones who are influencing behavior. They're the ones who are normalizing all of this demonic stuff. So naturally, they would bring someone like Oprah out. Even though they're so tone deaf, they don't realize that a lot of people are off the Oprah gravy train. A lot of people have woken up to Oprah. And they're rolling Oprah out for what? Well, Oprah has a specific audience, older women, that she needs to reach and normalize artificial intelligence with, because they want to get them on board. Now, there's two things going on with the digital ID and the stuff with artificial intelligence that they're trying to get regulated into place. And part of the problem is the older generations. Because the older generation still, if you don't know, you can still write in your taxes, as crazy to some people as that may sound. There's still things that are out there that are not digital that they need removed, which is part of the reason they wanted so many of the elderly. They forced the elderly to go and get that shot before anyone else because they knew they'd expire quicker. And the quicker they're gone, the quicker this stuff will be in place, because the younger generations don't even know how to use a pen and paper anymore. Right? So once everything's digital, they don't have to worry about saying, oh, well, we're going to put in and mandate AI when some 90-year-old woman's like, I don't know what this is or how to do it, right? I don't know how to use digital stuff. I don't even have a phone, right? It puts kind of everything on hold for them, so to speak, right? So Oprah is coming out, and of course, this is Oprah going to a specific audience, right? Oprah's audience, female, mainly females, older females, ones who might not be so technically savvy, although more and more people are becoming and have become more technically savvy, which was part of what happened during the outbreak. They forced people onto phones and technology because they were telling you couldn't go see grandma, you couldn't go see mom, you couldn't go see your girlfriend, you had to be locked up. So everybody just said, fine, I'll be locked up. I'll try Zoom, I'll try FaceTime. And now you just see people calling one another using this stuff, where 5 years ago, people would have said, I don't need to do that, I'll just go see the person, right? So that was part of it that most people don't cover. That, it wasn't just about poisoning. It was about getting people digitally more comfortable, forcing people into digital compliance, forcing people to do everything online, and then telling you, look how convenient it is, right? And as time elapses, during especially that period, people, it just became second nature to them. And now everybody's doing everything digitally. A lot more now than they did before that. So Oprah is running this special. It aired on ABC about AI and the future of us. And again, Oprah, a puppet of the elite. We've seen Oprah holding up the 666 signs many times, right? Many times. Or is she just saying everything's A-okay? Well, you could determine that, of course. Even holding up the pyramid at these events and, well, holding up the 666 over her glasses, if you want to call those goggles glasses. But let me play for you this clip, and keep in mind, while she's telling you about how the future is now, the future is AI, now they're going to teach you about AI. Now they're going to, quote unquote, groom you about AI, which is funny to me too. Before I play this, when we talk about the word grooming, everybody out there who's an adult hears the word groom and they automatically think of adults grooming kids. Well, guess what? These celebrities are grooming adults, because we have a lot of adults who don't think for themselves, who are really adult children. So they're being groomed by these celebrities. It's the same thing almost, but everyone just uses that term groom and they think of these children. Well, the celebrities are grooming you. They're grooming you into accepting this stuff. There's no pushback on technology, none. And if this thing can be stopped, it's through people pushing back on tech and getting out on their own 2 feet and doing things once again. All their control comes through technology. And that's why they're hell-bent on not just normalizing it, making it mandatory to have it by shutting you out of businesses, shutting you out of buying and selling. That's what we're headed towards. Like the book of Revelation says, you will not be able to buy or sell without the mark of the beast, right? Well, what do you think it's going to involve? It's going to involve technology, despite what some other people think. That's my belief, at least. I won't criticize people who have other ideas than I do. It's okay to have different ideas. It's good to bounce things off one another. But I think we could all come to the conclusion that technology is completely becoming more and more dangerous by the day and more controlling. And here's Oprah telling you about it. And of course, conveniently, who's she interviewing? Then I'll show you some of the clips here. Well, one of the people happens to be Bill Gates. You know, Bill Gates just seems to be involved in everything, but no way suspicious. The carbon footprint, right? With the climate agenda, the magic potions getting inside your body, and of course, AI. See how it all works? Look.
I've been living on this planet for 7 decades. I've seen a lot of things change. But about a year ago, I saw the first change I didn't fully comprehend. It was a demonstration of the capabilities of artificial intelligence, and I was bedazzled, fascinated, curious, and also concerned. But there's no doubt, it is here. Artificial intelligence is here, and life for all of us is about to be very different. Over the next hour, we're going to talk about what is coming with a brilliant group of people. They have different backgrounds and opinions about the kind of future racing toward us, but they all agree the stakes are too high for anyone to sit this out. Now, if you're worried this is going to be too technical, I promise it is easier than you think.
AI, it's been one of the most talked about topics of the last few years. Reaction to it has been mixed. In a new special, Oprah Winfrey talks to some of the leaders behind the new technology. Rebecca, you sat down with Oprah.
I did, George. Guys, this was a fascinating conversation. Oprah's done a lot of things in her life. She's climbed many mountains, but until recently, she really hadn't used artificial intelligence. She was scared, as she told me, but not anymore. Take a look. In your 7 decades here on Earth, where do you put AI?
Rebecca, we are in for the ride of our lives.
In an all-new primetime special, AI and the Future of Us, Oprah Winfrey is taking a deep dive into artificial intelligence.
And life for all of us is about to be very different.
I really do think you are a great entry point for this topic because you can come at it from a very real and curious point of view.
Well, I've always seen myself as the surrogate viewer. I know if I am curious about this, if I don't know the answer, I know that the other millions of people who are watching are feeling the same.
What was your first encounter with AI?
Well, I have to say I had no encounter with AI until my first conversation with Sam Altman. Just take me to 2035.
I think it's hard to say where all this can go without sounding like a crazy person.
And after he was telling me about all the things it could do, I was saying, okay, don't be scared. Don't be scared. You can get the ChatGPT app. And my first experience was asking AI for Airbnb listings. And it was miraculous to me that before you can practically finish the request, the answer has come back to you.
When you use ChatGPT, do you say please?
Yesterday, I was asking a question and I said, could you please? And I realized you don't have to say please. Yeah, I've already started that, yeah.
Well, the good news is when the robots take over, they will remember you were very gracious. While many embrace AI, 52% of Americans are more concerned than excited about it in their daily lives. There are a lot of people watching right now who are probably scared and have never actually used it in a knowing way.
I don't think we should be scared. I think we should be disciplined and we should honor it and have a reverence for what is to come and respect. Because I think it's going to change in ways that are unimaginable for the good. And just as there is for the good, there's the yin and yang of everything. And so we need to do whatever we can so that we are not in the same position that we are now with social media.
Yeah.
Now is the time.
Changing things in unimaginable ways. And we've had conversations here about this. Just this week, Beyonce talked to GQ about artificial intelligence. Taylor Swift is talking about artificial intelligence. This is just, it is everywhere. It's unimaginable what it's going to do. It's getting bigger and bigger. And so I really enjoyed the conversation with Oprah. And I think people are really going to enjoy getting into it with this AI special, AI and the Future of Us, an Oprah Winfrey special.
So wow, what an amazing, pretty incredible. She says, "What is coming?" While she's holding up the triangle of power Illuminati hand symbol that I've exposed many times, right? Which they all do right in front of your faces. So she's interviewing Bill Gates. She's interviewing the head of the FBI, Chris Wray, right? You'd say to yourself, what does Chris Wray have to do with this? Artificial intelligence and the FBI? Well, what do you think the government's going to use against you? The FBI only cares about what you have to say and what your opinions are, because that's the most dangerous threat to their power, is your opinion, which really, most people like me and you, our opinions are fact. They're not even just opinions anymore. We've proven this over time, all of us, with the stuff that we've exposed, all of us. People listen to my channel, you're in the know. Obviously, we all talk about this stuff on the website. We talk about this stuff to one another when we interact with each other, right? These are things that they want to remove. So artificial intelligence will remove speech. It'll criminalize speech. But some of the other stuff to know when I talk about social engineering, right, is that they're losing their grip, which makes me think that they're putting their foot on the pedal even faster. Why? Because this whole thing could blow over. They could lose their control. But that's why when I talk about the main common components, what do I say? Okay, the left-right paradigm, right, where there's gatekeepers. These are the things that both sides are okay with, right? They're okay with what? They're okay with technology. The alt-right media keeps everybody stuck in the left-right, right, which keeps everybody divided. And then the common feature that we always see is that they promote technology. They might go a little bit like, oh, we got to regulate AI, right? We got to make sure it's safe. No, we don't need to regulate AI. We need to remove it now. It's not up for debate. It shouldn't be up for debate. In fact, the people who are creating AI should be criminalized for violations against human rights. They're removing human jobs. They're doing all sorts of things that they haven't been given the right to do. How about just deep faking people, mimicking people's voices? Shouldn't that be illegal? How about mimicking in these deep fakes? They can frame anybody at any time. Oh, well, we're going to have to regulate that. No, get rid of it. And in fact, the people who are creating it, arrest them. We're citizens. We're human citizens. Why are we not doing this? So when I say that it's almost like they're losing their grip, you would think that a lot of people out there would have noticed what happened with Oprah and Maui, right? How are things going over there, Oprah? Did you get all the land on the island yet? Right? How's your bunker over in Maui? Well, what happened when that occurred is, of course, a lot of people woke up. They tried to roll Dwayne Johnson out with Oprah, people that they thought were trusted, and everybody loves them, right? Well, actually, everybody ended up turning on them, and the two of them never showed their face again discussing Maui because they just realized, wow, everybody actually thinks it is a direct energy weapon. Oh boy, that's crazy. So what we can do now is never mention Lahaina again. And have you heard Lahaina mentioned on the mainstream media recently? No, you haven't. Why? Well, because most people out there became very aware very quickly about direct energy weapons because of channels like this or whatever channel it was that sounded like mine at the time, which is long, long gone. It's not just long gone, it's long, long gone, even though it was only like what? A year and a half ago, if that, a year and a few months ago, right? A little over a year. So it was like 10 channels ago. Anyway, Oprah, of course, was out there talking about raising money and then everyone was like, wait a minute, Oprah's got a house there? Oprah owns a lot of land there. So does Mark Zuckerberg. Wait a minute, this is suspicious. This seems like a land grab. And then, of course, they saw the whole thing with the fire, how the alarm didn't go. And everybody just said, this seems like an inside job. And then they said, oops, what happened to that charity that Oprah and The Rock had set up? No, we don't hear about it anymore, do we, right? Of course, Oprah's one of the most obvious influencers as well, who's in our faces with the OWN network, the Oprah Winfrey Network, which again is NWO backwards. Law of Reversals, Aleister Crowley, who they get their teaching from, teaches do things backwards, which is why they do things like backmasking, subliminal messaging, right? The moonwalk, do things backwards, a lot of stuff that they tell you to do backwards. And of course, OWN backwards is what? NWO, New World Order. Of course, Oprah's also buddy-buddy with Donald Trump, has been forever. Up until, of course, Donald Trump being selected as a conservative to play his role to divide the nation and then, kind of create what they've created now. So she pretends that she's not buddy-buddy with Donald Trump anymore, but it's convenient, right? Because Donald Trump was buddy-buddy with all these people. Bill Clinton, right? All of them. They all love Donald Trump up until he was selected to be the actor that was put in place, and now everybody turned his back. Now one of them comes out and goes, hey, we were friends with him. I guess just because he decided he was a Republican, they all just said, we're not friends anymore, man. And apparently that's an accepted narrative in today's society. So Bill Gates also being in that clip should be one of those things that people see and go, yeah, you know what? Something's wrong here. I mean, it's pretty amazing to me. You talk about people like Bill Gates, the Pope, how anybody listens to what these people say and nobody's, not nobody, but I mean, a large portion of people are not suspicious. Like, how about people who defend Bill Gates? What planet are they living on? You know, can you imagine what's inside their head other than California raisins, singing and dancing probably backwards inside their skulls? What is in their minds to actually trust this guy? This guy was known for creating Microsoft, right? Computer company, Windows, blah, 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 right? And then you go, well, what else is how is Bill Gates even Bill Gates? Wait, his father is what? On the board of Planned Parenthood? Well, that's kind of weird, the connection between that, all right? Sacrifice and technology. Wait, Bill is going to all these third world countries, just like Oprah, of course, right? Going to these third world countries and doing what? Well, he's going there and he's telling everybody that they need to get inoculated. For what? Doesn't matter. For what? We got to get inside you. So you have your technology, and then you have your nanotechnology, right? And your magic potions. And then Bill Gates is running around sucking the carbon out of the air. And he's telling everybody, hey, we got to suck the carbon out of the air. Wait a minute. What? Isn't that what trees do? Shh. What? Are you thinking? Shut up. Censor him, remove him from the internet. We have to suck the carbon out of the air and bring it underground because we're living underground and we need carbon underground, naturally so we can breathe. So they're sucking all the carbon out of the air, putting it underground. Bill's telling everybody about not eating meat and a carbon footprint. So all those things connected are actually the New World Order enslavement. And Bill Gates is out there showing his face. Now, I don't think he's really in public, but still, he's involved. He wants his face out there to be the face of this. This is his, this is literally a minion of Satan, but this is his moment to shine for the elites because, this is his moment to shine for Satan. He's connecting all of the things together that connect the mark of the beast together, right? We're talking about digital ID, carbon footprint with a nanochip technology inside of the body, right? How to feed the body then, not using meat or anything nutritious, with things that'll fuel that, man mixed with machine, which are a lot of the bugs, Z-bugs. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? And another thing to note with Bill Gates, with Oprah, right? Since they have such a connection, of course, they have a connection to Warren Buffett, too. Boys Town, anyone? Right? Warren Buffett, what do you think he's rich for? He just picked all the right stock market. Well, that was the act they wanted to tell you. Warren Buffett knows the stock market, folks. Oh, he knows the stock market, right? He knows what to invest in. He knows better than anyone. And everyone just accepts that. Oh, okay. But nobody knows that, Boys Town out in Nebraska, where Warren Buffett is, that's where they buy and sell so many of those youngsters, right? And Warren Buffett is the one who runs it. And that's why Warren Buffett is a trillionaire, right? And then all they have to do is say, well, we can't, what if somebody's suspicious of Warren Buffett? Well, he invests his money. He's an entrepreneur. Oh, okay. Same with Bill, same with all these people. Oh, they just know better than us. They're so much smarter than we are, right? We're supposed to bow down. But what's interesting to know with Oprah, with Bill Gates, with Madonna, with all these celebrities, right? They love to go to these third world countries. They always show us them at these third world countries, right? Walking around with people who are living in, probably, it looks like they're living worse than us, but they're probably living a lot better. They're probably saying, get these people out of here. They show them living in tents. They're like, look at the way they live. It's awful. It's awful, right? Because they're not over-consuming and they know how to cook and find food and live like that. They're like, they're getting sick and all. Of course, there's brainwashing. What they're really doing there, what Bill's doing there and Oprah's doing there, is they're recruiting. You know how, like in sports, recruits go to colleges, like NFL, sports, big teams like baseball. They go to colleges and they scout. They're like, oh, this guy looks like he's going to be a good player. They're keeping your eye on him. We want to take him. That's what they do. They go to these countries and they scout the young ones. But not, of course, to put them in their schools. They scout them because they take them. They buy them. Well, they don't even buy them. They take them, right? Hey, we're going to bring you to America. We're going to get you a scholarship. Really? Yeah, get on the plane. You're going to have a layover in Denver. Oh, I am? Yeah, you're probably not going to get out of the airport, though. That's what ends up happening, right? No one ever thinks about that connection, how all these people, like, Oprah, they're all involved, right? Oprah's got the school. Third world country, got a school there. Oh, what a wonderful person Oprah is. Then you hear whispers, wait a minute, there's some stuff going on at the school. Kids are saying they're being abused. What? Shh, stop it. Remove the video. Remove that. Oh, okay. If you didn't hear Oprah, has been caught with her hand in the cookie jar doing stuff at her school for the underprivileged, right? They all have this obsession with children in third world countries. And this just shows us universal law. They do reveal what they're really doing. But the people out there are so dumb, just like I've talked about with all these secret societies, they teach philanthropy and constantly giving. Oh, they care so much. It's just as easy as that for these people to be deceived. All they have to do, they can see Bill Gates involved in all this stuff, and then they see Bill Gates holding up one of those giant checks and saying, "I'm giving $1 million to Ghana, to gonorrhea, no, to Ghana or another country." And they go, "Oh, what a great guy!" And they show pictures of him walking around with the kids, right? Yeah, when those cameras are off, what do you think Bill's doing with them? Think he's helping them out? Nah, he's scouting like a sports team scout, and it's not funny; it's disturbing. I'm laughing at the notion that people out there are so dumb they don't see the pattern with these people, the behavior with them. They're all just so interested in the poverty of these countries. Well, they have 65 homes, right? Their net worths are trillions of dollars, and they want to end capitalism too, right? Oprah and all these people, they're all Democrats. They want to end capitalism. They want socialism, which is really communism, right? Oh, okay, because they're great people, right? Meanwhile, they have multiple homes, 50 cars, but they tell you to just be angry with your neighbor or your friend who may have more money than you do, not with these people who literally could take 1/3 of what they're worth and save a third world country. Even though I don't even think these third world countries need saving. I think the only problem that these third world countries have is they get lots of droughts and things like that because they send weaponized weather at them. And they dry up their crops and they force them to get inoculated and they do all that stuff to them. That's really what I believe, because I believe they're fine. I believe that they enjoy living the way they do. I think they look at us and they go, well, thank God I don't live in America, right? Thank God they're not mentally messing with my brain every day like they do to those American citizens. They constantly psychologically bombard them, divide them. Every day, people's blood pressure's through the roof. I'd rather be in a third world country, they probably say. I'd rather live in a tent. I don't care, there's flies, whatever. Go out there, I'm going to farm for the day. I'm going to feel satisfied, tired at night, and sleep. I'm not going to have anxiety. I'm not going to worry about living paycheck to paycheck inside the matrix. Just going to live freely. Not going to worry about tax on my land and all this other crap. But they tell us here, of course, oh, these people are living so horrible, right? Well, if that was the case, why don't you guys give 1/10 of your wealth and save them? Oh, well, we don't want you to think like that. We're going to try to help them in other ways. AI and we're going to fly around in our private jets while we do it, tell you that you have a carbon footprint that needs to be tracked. So back to the whole story about AI. The whole point of this is that this is what you're going to see. This is grooming of adult children. Getting you to accept AI, teaching you, right? Teaching you like a dumb person, right? Because again, most people don't know what this stuff is anyway. So they're going to talk to you like you're 3. And they're going to tell you how AI, my Oprah's life is so different now. It's so great. She doesn't have to even, urinate without AI doing it for her. Don't you want to be in on this, right? They already convinced people, hey, get the Alexa, get this stuff. You don't have to turn on your light switch anymore. Get the clapper. It used to be the old thing. You used to clap your hands and turn the lights on. Now it's, you can turn your air conditioner on with your phone. Well, you still got to open the app. And eventually you don't have to because it's going to be in your body. You could just think it and telepathy will turn your lights on and off. But we'll get to that later, right? Do people not see this? How they use these people to influence. So now Oprah's going to influence that specific demographic. Because remember, we always hear about data. They're like, oh, studies show that so-and-so watches these shows. And, girls watch this, boys watch that, even though we don't know what girls and boys are anymore. But anyway, they tell us all these demographics. That's the data. So the data that they're always studying is us. So these influencers are used, right, for data points. So in other words, they say, hey, we want 50-year-old women, 60-year-old women, 70-year-old women who have poisoned themselves but are still alive. We got to get them on board with this technology now. And even if they haven't poisoned themselves, they don't know anything about tech. They think it's all convenient and fun and everything else. Even if they're conservative or a Christian or whatever, they don't understand the dangers of tech. So we have to condition them now. So let's get Oprah. They used to like Oprah. They're all oblivious to what's happening in Maui since we shut off all the propaganda. Let's roll Oprah out, and Oprah can start teaching them little by little by little. And that's how you get society to accept these things. And that's how we've gotten to this point. And that's why I always go after these losers, low-life losers who are only rich and famous because they're government assets, right? They're not more talented. They're not better. They're not funnier. They're there to influence you. And they're probably the worst of the worst because society isn't this way without these people shaping their behaviors, convincing them that they need this tech, convincing them they need to put this in their body, convincing them that we need to stop living this way because of climate change, right? They're the ones doing it. They're the ones who are probably the most wicked, they're just as wicked as the people pulling the strings. And it's amazing that they even use Bill Gates to influence, but they do. Well, they use him as an expert, right? Because some of these people are experts. Fauci's, Gates, they roll them out, Buffett's, right? They're experts on these fields. Oprah's the influencer where, whoa, Oprah's saying that this is safe. I'll listen to her. She's talking to an expert. Bada bing, bada boom. The next thing you know, you're starting to download and try some of these AI apps on your phone. And then little by little, you get pushed into this without realizing that you're giving your free will up to technology and you're on board. And that's what we need to stop from happening. Technology, we've got to go backwards now with technology. But you're not going to hear the alt-right media talk about that. Because if you want to talk about the biggest enemy, you can look at all this stuff. The one tool they hold over us to enslave us is technology. Think of it in reverse, right? We're talking about Aleister Crowley, law of reversals. Think of this. If we go backwards to living the way we lived 20 years ago, how much better off will we be? A lot better off, right? What's the one thing that we've all had and just continued to get more and more and more of and more obsessed with over the last 20 years, done by design? They've made us obsessed with it. They've made us and given us all these little things. Oh, have PayPal, have this, get used to it, get used to it, get used to it. Boom, all of a sudden you have the two-step verification, right? Getting you ready for getting your digital ID. And now you go, I got to do it. I got to get it in my Gmail. I got to get into this. If you knew 20 years ago you have to do all this stuff to get into Gmail, you'd be like, I don't want a Gmail. Just send me it in the mail, right? But even back then you could say, oh, I never got this in the mail, right? The government sent you a letter in the mail. You can say, I never got it in the mail. How can they prove you got it? They can't, right? Unless you sign for it, which you don't sign for. You don't have to sign for it. It's not law for you to sign if someone comes to your door. It says sign for it, right? Well, with digital stuff, you can't, everything's going to be tracked and traced. You can't say, I didn't get this, I didn't say that. Oh, right. So if we go backwards, right? I mean, they love reversals. If we go in reverse, we can actually stop this from happening. But instead, we're allowing them to take us further and further into this. Technology is the key. AI, demons, this demonic tech, this is going to lead to our enslavement. They talk about Facebook and all this stuff. The motto is always what? Connecting the world, right? Everybody's connecting on Facebook. Everybody's connecting here, right? They're connecting all of us via technology. And if everybody's connected via technology, it's not about you talking to somebody in Singapore. It's about all of us being on technology. Then they can put their foot down and say, well, everybody's on tech now. All the older people have died off. We don't use pen and paper anymore. This is the way society is. You've all gotten into it anyway. You don't know how to get out of it because you're obsessed with it. It's a bigger addiction than any addiction out there is the internet itself and technology and the cell phone, which is what they wanted. You ever heard them ever say the internet's an addiction or this stuff's bad for you? Get outside. No, because it was part of the plan. So now they got everybody right where they want them. Now we got to push back. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for listening to my rant. God bless all of you as always and your families.